Welcome to a very special Axis and Allies game. This is Axis and Allies very aggressive. Um, I'm doing this after the fact. I went through this game earlier and I wanted to do an audio so that it's a bit more interesting. So this is basically if the attack exists, then I will probably do it. So even if the chances are very slim, I still want to keep doing it. So basic Russian turn. One is standard. As we head into the attacks. This is one move that I did differently, was attacking the C zone. Try to get that cruiser submarine transport out. I can't hit the submarine because I only have planes. But I was successful in taking the cruiser transport out. I did lose a fighter, which is very important for the Russians. And West Russia is a very standard attack. I'm sending the same guys I normally would. I did go downhill as they rolled a lot more than me. But I do hit back with 3 of my own. And pretty soon I do take West Russia. Germany then responds, hitting hard in that northern factory as they usually do. They're also attacking India, which was a weird move to see. But they will get the northern factory pretty easy. I do hit back really hard. So this is an attack that they do normal, and I just defend really well. I had some of the best dice rolling I've ever seen. I was surprised they kept going here with the 3 fighters. They took out 3 more guys, and I took out a bunch of their stuff. So I do defend the northern factory, which is very rare to see. That's actually something that I might do more often against the AI, as you see that they attack the northern factory so much. Egypt currently is an even battle. Once again, surprisingly, they took the bomber out as opposed to the guys. I'm unable to defend Egypt with that second dice roll, but I did take out a lot of units, which was important. So basically Africa is now the Germans. They do attack West Russia. Once again, that's a very normal standard attack. And of all that, they hit for 1, which is very helpful in this game. As you'll later see, Germany had some of the worst dice rolling I have ever seen in a game. But I on the other end, Russia had some pretty bad dice rolling too. And just like that, they can take out everything in West Russia, which they do, and it will be mutual destruction. Even though I don't take out the fighter, they don't get to take West Russia. And now looking at the board, it is very weird and different. This is probably the first time I've seen everything outside of Germany cleared, but Russia doesn't have a lot of units either. The UK, I wanted to go for victory cities because initially was try to win the game in 2 turns like I did earlier in a game before. So I attempted to take a victory city in the Philippine Islands. And turn 1, interesting, I tried to take France, which was a very interesting move, especially because you can send 2 transports if that transport in the north lives, which I did by taking out that cruiser with the Russian fighter. I then attacked the Philippines, like I just mentioned. The bombardment shot does hit, which was very helpful, but they did roll 2 hits, so then that's it. Would have been nice to take the 3 points, or at least tried to take the 4 points in Borneo. I do try to take New Guinea too, though that one is only worth 1 point, and I only sent 2 guys, which I do get somehow. That's the one that hits. And then the big one, France. My Marvin shot did hit. The AA guns all missed, and I hit big. And just like that, I took France, losing 1 guy. That probably was the best dice rolling I could have ever imagined. The fact that they only hit 1 was super surprising. And then the normal standard, what the AI does, trying to attack in C-Zone 61 to take out that transport. Oh, which I do get. And of course they hit, so then I'll take the carrier out and the plane will move over. Japan does their normal, I'm going to attack Asia and try to take out China as quickly as possible. And then they do their normal weird, I don't know how to explain it, fighters to India. And they try to, and they do Pearl Harbor attacking Hawaii. This, of course, was the most perplexing as they send 2 fighters, of which they both missed, and I hit back, almost hitting everything. So there goes 2 fighters pretty easily, and they did 0 damage. Then they also attack Hawaii, which sometimes the AI does. I was surprised that they went for it. And my dice rolling was awful, and they took it pretty easily. As the U.S. turn 1, there's not a whole lot you can do turn 1, so then I just pass it right back on onto Russia. I do move the transports up north, and I use a bomber to defend Italy, which was a weird move. I don't know completely why I did it, but it was fun. Okay, Russia, I send the sub to take out the other sub, and then now I can just blitzkrieg with everybody, and actually attack Germany itself. Looking back, if this was a normal game, this was an awful decision. But since this was the over-aggressive rules that I set in place, the attack was there, and I had enough guys that could potentially do enough damage, so I did it. Here in Ukraine, they are going to hit for a bunch, but I did send a bunch of guys, and the guys are hitting stuff. So I took Ukraine with a bunch of guys, which is very rare to see, because they're all rolling for 1s, and I rolled a bunch of 1s. Next was the sub on sub, which the Russian sub was favored to win, as they need to roll a 2 faster than the other side rolled a 1. And just like that first hit, there goes the sub, easy. And the attack on Germany. I wasn't expecting this to win, so it wasn't super surprising that I didn't. But I did bring a good fight, hitting 3 units, so it was 3 guys, and then they hit back with their 3. So I ended up deciding to attack 1 more to hit 2 more, and they only hit 1, which was super surprising. So I only lost the tank, so I survived with the fighter, so the fighter went back. So even though it was a bad battle in terms of numbers, and I lost some tanks, 24 points to be exact, the fighter did survive. And then I did the attack on Manchuria turn 1. I didn't move the guys over, which I forgot to do, and then just got taken out by the fighters. So then I failed. Germany, of course, then tries to hit hard, which was the big regret after trying to attack mainland Germany, and they hit big. And my guys did okay. They weren't phenomenal, but they weren't great, and they took France with almost no difficulty. Ukraine was very similar, where they just had a lot of units that just started hitting Russia hard, and with that, They could just take it. Baltic states the exact same way. They just have more units. As the UK, I wanted to hit Germany hard again. And basically the mentality for this game that you'll see a lot is instead of strategic bombing, I just attack Germany. And you'll see this a lot throughout the game, where I'll send my bombers, my fighters, and some guys, and we'll just go straight for the capital. And even at some points, doing some weird attacks like you just see here, where I'm sending 2 fighters over to France to hopefully clear it up so the USA can just walk in. Another attack that I wasn't expecting to win, but they only hit for 1, which means the bomber survives. I sent 2 units to go. I did inflicted heavy damage and walked out like it was nothing because I didn't hit for enough. It's like I mentioned that Germany just could not roll anything good. And then here, just sending in 2 fighters, of which that first turn lost 0, and then just got obliterated turn 2. Because he couldn't do anything because they missed twice. So at that point they deserved to get shot down. That was their fault that they missed. And to go back to the Manchuria, I was hoping to take out the fighter up there, a fighter on fighter, and at least do mutual destruction. I could not do that. Now I'm down another fighter. Japan actually tries to take Hawaii itself, and continues to go to Asia. I do have a lot defending the Hawaii Islands, and I did a decent job defending it, taking out both a fighter and a bomber. So even though they took the island, they did lose a bomber. In this one, they attack the battleship, and every hit I do is damage to them. And them missing 2 really messed them up, as now they're only attacking a fighter, and with that, it'll hit to take out the destroyer. So they lost half of their fleet, and I lost a destroyer. Those battleships really come in handy on the defense. So then, because those transports lived, I decided to go to the factory that they built over there, and then instead of attacking France this turn, I decided to take Norway, which was an easy free 2 points. This one, I wouldn't say the ball was in my court, sending only 2 guys, but I was hoping to hit something. And then, of course, I couldn't retreat because it's a sea thing. So I was hoping to at least take out a guy, maybe a tank, and I was unsuccessful. And coming back to that sea zone that I was attacking, trying to hit that battleship, and I was super successful, and I lost nothing. I was expecting to lose a cruiser, and I didn't lose the cruiser. Russia, again, super aggressive that I went. Try to attack Ukraine with a bunch more units that aren't super valuable. Sending 7 guys, of which 3 hit. My guys are hitting a lot of stuff, which I was super surprised with, because they only roll for 1, and of course they missed turn 2, which wasn't surprising, as well as turn 3, and this is where we get into the Nerf gun battle. But I did take Ukraine, sending a bunch of guys to take out a bunch of their expensive stuff. I'm drawing again in Manchuria. Not expecting to take it, but I wanted to at least try to lower their numbers in Asia to hopefully protect some stuff, and then I hit for nothing and got myself out of there. Germany then tried to retake the Northern Factory and Africa. Africa, they are successful, so most of Africa is now part of Germany. And they try to reclaim that Northern Factory now that they have that open spot there that they got. after that blitzkrieg, and they do send 7 guys up there. Hitting for 3, which is most of the guys in tanks, and this is when my dice rolling wasn't as good. And they do take Karelia without a lot of hits from the Russian side. And I do my normal strategic attack. I'm not going to call it strategic bombing. I'm going to call it strategic attacking, where I attack Germany because they have a lot of expensive units there. Especially right now, they have fighters. So even if I didn't take it, it's something that is still good as I'm taking out fighters and an AA gun. So this is actually the turn to take it if I could take it. Both bombardments missed, which was not good. They took the bomber out with the AA gun, which was going to hit anyway, and everybody missed. One of the worst rolls I could have had this entire game. I was hoping to at least take one fighter out, offset with that bomber, but I got nothing. Japan does their normal Asia attack, very standard, as they just try to press back onto India. Now that I have the guys in Norway as the US, I thought, hey, if I'm going to attack the capital, let's do it now, since, like I just mentioned, they only have fighters. So it'll be a very costly battle for everybody. But damage is damage, and that's something that I was looking forward to. AA gun was not successful both times, and for the one time I want things to hit, they don't hit as many as I need, and they do hit back with 4. So I'm unable to take Germany. I do retreat back with the bomber to attack the following turn. I did take out 2 fighters, so it was, even though it was a retreat and technically a loss, I did win the point value as they lost 2 fighters. Russia's starting to look very bad right now, as they only have a few units and they're dispersed. A lot of the places are pretty empty. They do take out the destroyer, but I hit back and the transport lives. So I might as well load that transport and load some guys on it. As we head right back to Germany, trying to hit them hard again, just like we did last turn. This time one of the bombardments did their job, taking out a fighter. All the guys missed again, and of course the bomber and the fighter both hit. But now it's a bunch of tanks against a few bombers. And with that, I took Germany, and it was pretty easy with this one. The dice rolling was somewhat in my favor, and just like that, I take a capital and a victory city, just being 4 away now. So now I don't have to worry about Germany attacking Russia, but at this point I'm going to have to worry about Japan doing it. They then strategic bomb India, and that does hit. I believe it hits for 3 points. The U.S. Now just trying to hold on and try to move around, try to attack some units, make it easier for everybody else to attack. I try to gain Hawaii back because that is a victory city. And I moved the transports up in the north to France and at least try to take out numbers so that they can't reclaim Germany again. The dice rollings did hit a lot, and they hit 1. So just like that, France once again is the U.S. His turn as they hit just about everything as they reclaim it with 1 tank. So another victory city for the U.S. That puts them right now 2 shy of winning. They again attack Manchuria, which was more of a damage output than anything. They do hit they try to just hit a lot of these tanks, which they were unsuccessful on doing. They're trying to just make it a little bit easier for Russia to just walk in, and I couldn't do that. It's now turn 5. This will end up being the final turn, as Russia then tries to just attack hard on Japan and try to take that northern factory back, because that'll be the 9th victory city if they take it. And then Italy will be 10 when the UK attacks it this following turn. If they do get this, there is no chance that Germany can take their capital back. And they do hit for a lot, and they answer back with a lot of hits themselves. I still have a bunch of guys that can still attack too, and the fighter will miss. And it just becomes the Nerf gun battle. We just do a few more of these, and I do eventually take Karelia after losing some units, but I did take it. I then moved my fighters, a few of them back to Germany and a few elsewhere, just to try to protect a lot of the other units. Germany takes Africa, which doesn't matter. And this is the final unit in Africa, part of the UK, and of course they take it, not like it matters because they have no capital. The UK then does some normal moves, moving around, try to take, they take Italy, which had nobody occupying it, and they're at this point just trying to take out units and land spots to gain more money and more control over this map, and block the attack on India, which could prolong the game another few turns. Another really good attack, hitting for a few spots, and because they only hit for one, I keep going, because at this point it's taking out the units, not the land. And I hit for 2, which is exactly enough, and they won't really hit back with anything strong, because I still have more units than they have. So even though they both hit, I take out 2 guys, and I do take the spot, which was really nice to have. It wasn't needed, but it was really good to have. So now we have 10 victory cities heading into the US's turn. But first, Japan tries to take a few more spots, which doesn't matter. And the US do absolutely nothing. And that'll end the game. Final score, 10-2. The only victory cities that were left were Japan and Shanghai. Or sorry, 10-3. So Japan had their capital, Shanghai, and the island, for a final score 10-3, an easy win, a super aggressive win, and this is one that I really like to do, and I hope you enjoyed this episode, even though it was just one episode. It was an Axis and Allies game, and I hope you check out our future Axis and Allies games here on this channel, as well as David's channel and the Chaos Squad channel. I'll see you next time.